It is almost Valentine's Day, and you are an adult child of divorce. I get it. I'm an adult child of divorce too. You're feeling pressure, stress, anxiety, tension around your love life and what it all means. Valentine's Day is particularly difficult when you grew up with divorced or separated parents, because what was meant to be your first and foundational example of love, commitment, trust, joy, partnership, and so much more didn't go well. And it's difficult, therefore, to feel positive and maybe hopeful, confident about love, romance, and relationships, because all of us, no matter what our childhood was like, are shaped by the things that happen when we're young. What we experience teaches us what is normal and what we should and can expect from other people. So your parents' breakup has absolutely shaped your view of love and trust. It's also shaped your view of yourself, your value, your worth, how other people may or may not be there for you. And all of these things are relevant to love, relationships, and therefore to Valentine's Day. When you think about love, connection, and relationship, you might really long for a loving, long-term, lasting relationship, but you're afraid to trust. You might be afraid that your standards are way too high or that they're way too low. You might be afraid to be honest and to show somebody that you're interested because you're terrified of being rejected. You might be afraid to ask for what you want or what you need from a friendship or a relationship because you don't want to be seen as needy or demanding. There is a lot of factors that go into relationships, and it can be hard to know which ones of these factors are related to your parents' breakup when you were a kid, and which ones are simply related to your age, your personality, your stage in life, the past relationships that you've experienced. But let me remind you that even though your parents broke up when you were a kid, you are not doomed to a life being alone or miserable. But to heal and move forward, there are things that you're going to have to work on. Things that you need to understand about how your parents' breakup when you were a kid has shaped you and your expectations and your responses and your habits and your attitudes. There will be some skills that you didn't learn as a kid that you need to work on and learn now as an adult. And that can be awkward and humbling and a lot of hard work. And there are absolutely pains and wounds that you need to heal from, and you need other people's help for healing. So you might be thinking you're doing pretty good, you're healing, you're moving forward, you're feeling positive, and then boom, Valentine's Day sneaks up on you and you're thinking, wow, maybe I'm not doing as well as I thought I was. You know, the stores are filling up with love hearts and Valentines, cards and themed coffee cups, and everybody's making reservations for dinners and buying new outfits and getting their nails done. There is a huge cultural and societal pressure to be a part of a romantic relationship. If you do have a relationship, then you feel like you're one of the club. If you don't have that relationship, you can feel ashamed, embarrassed, like there's something wrong with you. It can stir up your feelings of insecurity and self-doubt, as well as hopelessness and fear for the future. Pouring lemon juice on a paper cut, they just accentuate the stresses and fears that you might already be feeling as an adult child of divorce. Valentine's Day has one message, and it is the message that romantic love is the ultimate. Romantic love is the only kind of love that counts. This absolutely is not the case. So I want to remind you, just think about maybe 6 weeks ago, we were celebrating Christmas. And Christmas, though it also has its own stresses and pains, is a time when we celebrate community. We focus on being together, exchanging gifts, going out of our way to give to charities. And even people we would say we don't love at all still deserve our cards and our gifts and our thank yous. Like the hairstylist and your postman, your music teacher. So maybe we can take a page from Christmas when we think about Valentine's Day and think about how we can celebrate love in many different forms, not just romance. Before we get to that, let's consider different ways that you may have celebrated Valentine's Day in the past, and maybe that will help you think about how you would like to celebrate Valentine's Day in the future. So sometimes we try to find somebody, desperately try to find somebody who we can celebrate with. We think to ourselves, how can I ask somebody or get asked out on a date? How can I get that relationship over the line so that it counts as a Valentine? Maybe you respond to Valentine's Day by being resentful against everybody who has a relationship. You people who are happy, how dare you be happy when I'm miserable? You people who are in a relationship and aren't happy, you need to appreciate more what you have. Everybody, you're making me crazy. Maybe you resent society for all these expectations about love and romance. You resent everybody asking you, do you have a Valentine? Are you in a relationship? When are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? Maybe you've celebrated Valentine's Day with other people. Maybe you have a Galentine's Day or a Palentine's Day, or you do something to celebrate friendship. Maybe you've looked at Valentine's Day as a chance to care for others. So that could be your children, your neighbors, your cousins, or maybe you simply try your best to ignore Valentine's Day. Some of the reasons that I've struggled with Valentine's Day is because of what it says about who I am, especially who I am when I'm single. One of the things that's been helpful to me as I've unpicked my frustrations and anger about Valentine's Day is to consider, what do I believe Valentine's Day is saying about me as a single person? Of course, disclaimer here, I'm not single anymore. I've been married for 4 years, but I can absolutely relate to the Valentine's Day struggle. Being single can absolutely be a painful and difficult time if at the heart of being single, I believe the message that I'm not wanted. I'm less than people who are in a relationship. I'm not desirable. I'm not needed. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. When those messages related to who you are because you're single are tied up in your identity, it makes sense that you would run from or despise Valentine's Day, because it's basically slapping you in the face, saying you are not enough. And when you believe that your relationship status and your value as a person are intertwined, then it makes sense to be desperate and longing for somebody to validate you and say, you are lovable, you are enough, I see you, I want you. It's easy to believe that a relationship will solve those fears and soothe those pains. But I don't think it works that way. I don't think it's that simple. And it was a shock for me to get married and realize that being married and being loved by my husband didn't solve all of my problems and take away all of my insecurities and fears and self-doubt. So if you're feeling brave and if you have the energy, you may want to take a bit of time to reflect on this idea of, what do I believe? What do you believe being single says about you? You could take some time to journal or reflect. You might want to write out this sentence. My relationship status, single, says this about me, ... that I am, ... After you do that, another question that might be helpful is to imagine that you are in a relationship. What do you think would be different for you if you were no longer single? If you had to fill out the same sentence at that point, my relationship status, taken, says this about me. I am ... And I wonder if either of those sentences surprised you. So yes, frustration about Valentine's Day. It exalts one type of love, romance, above every other kind of love. It gives you the message that unless you are loved in a romantic way, you are not as valuable or as worthy as other people. This is so far from the truth. But if we can't see the love that's happening in and around us, it's hard to appreciate it. So as Valentine's Day approaches, you might find it helpful to think a bit about the types of love and the people in your life who love you, even the ones who aren't romantic. What kind of love and affection do you receive from your friends, from your housemates, from colleagues, people at church, people at the gym? What about the children in your life, the pets in your life, the person who lets you get on the bus before them? If you open your eyes, you may find that there is quite a bit of love in your life already. You also want to ask yourself, who are the people in my life who may appreciate receiving a bit of love? And do I have something that I could offer to them? There are 4 things to help you prepare yourself for Valentine's Day. Number 1, take time to reflect on where you're at in terms of love, relationships, the pain of your parents' breakup, your future, and the way that you view yourself. Unless you take time to reflect, it is basically impossible for you to heal and move forward. And chances are, a year from now, you may be in the exact same place that you are now. Secondly, give yourself permission to feel all of the feelings around Valentine's Day and your life. It's okay to feel angry, sad, hopeless, bitter, resentful, excited, and anything else. Denying and stuffing your feelings, trying to gloss them over or pretend they're not there, is not going to help you. Brene Brown wisely says and writes that you can't selectively numb emotions. When we numb the painful emotions, we also end up numbing the positive ones too. Number 3, because we know that love isn't just limited to romance, consider how to share love to the people in your life who are by themselves, people who might be bereaved, who have lost someone recently, who's far away from home or separated from their community. Maybe you want to send flowers to your aunts or your granny, or maybe you want to bring a meal to a friend or a neighbor. And the fourth and final thing is to consider how you would want to spend Valentine's Day this year. Chances are you're not the only person who has some complicated feelings around Valentine's Day and would welcome the chance to spend it doing something fun. Maybe there's an activity that you've wanted to do but haven't had the opportunity to do it yet. Go ice skating, take a walk, gather in your home, watch a movie. The possibilities to share love, to express love, to celebrate friendship and connection are limitless. I get it that being an adult child of divorce adds layers of complexity to Valentine's, to love, romance, and relationship. We're being proactive to think about the people and the things that we enjoy doing and taking steps to appreciate, enjoy, and share love with others. If this has been helpful for you, then subscribe, follow along. I'd love to hear your thoughts about Valentine's Day. What's helped you to celebrate it? How do you deal with it? What does it stir up inside of you?